Special thanks to these companies for being long-term partners of this channel.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Zach. Here we talk about overlanding tech, gear, DIY builds. We do a lot of stuff with vehicles, but today we're talking about gear. And in particular, we're talking about Bigfoot Bushcraft fire starters. So what these are is basically a little hydrophobic piece of fuzz that burns for about 5 minutes and smells like a piece of gum. So it's about 1 inch long and it's pink and it smells really good. It smells like you should be able to eat it. And we're gonna be messing around with these, starting some fires and testing them out. So that being said, if you like overland gear like this stuff, or you like what I'm doing with the channel, you like the builds or the DIY stuff like my platform here we're using as a temporary table, or any of this sort of gear stuff you can probably see in the back of my trunk, you're probably gonna like the channel. You're gonna like what I talk about. We post videos weekly and it's a lot of fun. So let's jump right in. So I just want to do a little unboxing here of the contents of the fire starter kit. So first it comes with a bag. So this is the medium-sized bag of fire plugs. I believe there is 80 in here, but you can get different numbers. And then we've got a little storage tin here to store them in. And then inside the bag comes with a striker. So and yeah, this is the thick ferro rod, I guess, not just a striker. So this would be called your striker, and this is your thick ferro rod. So when you strike this like this, it will spark. So I'm not gonna do it inside because this thing from the videos I've watched looks pretty effective. And so we'll do a little test of this outside. Inside the fire starter bag, I will show you what they look like. So they are about 1 inch long, maybe a little bit longer, and they actually smell amazing. They smell like about as good as they look. They have some sort of fruity scent to them, and they almost kind of look like they should be a candy or something, but definitely not. And so I think you can just stack these inside of the tin just like that. So there we go. We've got it all loaded up here. Looks like we should be able to fit one more in there if you really shoved it in there, but I'm not gonna because I want it to be a little bit loose so that one will pop out easily. So we've got 25 in here right now, and I think if you get the smallest bag, it comes with 30, so you can fill your tin, and then you've got your striker here and your ferro rod. So perfect little setup. So what you do is to start the fire, you grab this and you kind of break it, and then you twist it or you pull it apart. This I think kind of helps to activate, and you expose this inner part here, which I think is just highly flammable. I'm not quite sure exactly what the makeup of it is, but what I've seen online is people will then kind of lean this and then strike the sparks onto this inside area here, and then this will burn for about 5 minutes. So these are also fully waterproof, and like I said, smell amazing. So they're not really gross to work with or anything like that. So that's basically everything that comes in the packaging. Like I said, this is the medium kit, which comes with the tin, striker, and the bag of plugs, where I've got about 80 of them. So let's just head out and test this out and try and start a fire with it. So we're gonna be doing some real-time product testing here. I'm gonna bring you all along for the ride. But all I'm doing right now is cracking up a bunch of little sticks and crossing my fingers that Otis doesn't take them. All right, so we've got these little tins from Bigfoot Bushcraft. We've got a silver one and we've got a black one here. I think the black one looks cleaner. I'm a fan of, you know, black accenting and stuff, but I don't know. Choose whichever one you like. These are pretty sweet. They hold fire starters. So each one of these tins can hold about 25 different fire starters. I've said this before and I've joked about it, but these things, they smell really fruity. They almost look like you could just eat them, but definitely don't eat them. So I got a kit from them. They sent it to me. Okay, so we take one of the fire starters out of this tin, and we're going to essentially tear it in half, break it in half. So they say like you pull it apart like this, and you kind of, I think this activates it some. but you pull it apart, and then this fuzz in between is super flammable. So we're just gonna set that on top of these sticks, and we're gonna strike this a couple times. Now the cool thing about these fire starters is they're super waterproof. So right next to me here, we've got a handy dandy glass of water. I'm just gonna toss one in there and let it float in there for a bit, and we'll see how that one performs. But let's try and start this first one. So we've got that one floating in the water. Now we're just gonna try and start this one here. There we go. Wow, that's super cool. I've never used fire starters before, but now all we need to do is, these are supposed to burn for a good, I think 5 minutes or so. So I'm just gonna get some other sticks placed around these fire starters. And I may have just extinguished one. Oh, no, it's still burning. These sticks, I'm pretty sure, are quite wet, so hopefully they light. I'm just gonna keep on going though. This is just burning underneath these sticks, if you can't see that very well. All right, so if your fire starters go out, it looks like they won't really relight very easily. So we're gonna have to kind of pull them apart a little bit. Just make sure they've cooled off a little. And then hopefully this will start now. All right, so I think there's a bit of operator error, and what we want to do here is we want to have these, once you pull them apart and they activate, we want these to be left alone to just start those sticks. I was blowing on them, and I think that really messed them up and extinguished them, and you want to leave them alone, because all the little frizziness that comes from pulling it apart is super flammable. There we go, first try, it'll light if you just do that. So now what we're gonna do is just stick a couple more of these right over the top. I'm gonna put the old fire starter next to it because it'll totally start each other, and then just let it go. So don't rush perfection here. Back up, Otis. What I would recommend too is stick the insides of your sticks towards the fire, because that'll help light them. You know, it's kind of like using split wood. So that's what I'm gonna do here. See if I can get some of these little twigs started. Go get your own stick. Hey, no, give. Go find your own. These are mine. Hey, no, go get your own. Otis keeps trying to take my sticks. So the next couple things I want to try quick is we're gonna try lighting this newspaper with the ferro rod. And then I'm gonna try and light that fire starter that's been floating in the water. So, gonna crumple up this piece of paper here. Move that stuff aside. There we go. And see if we can light this piece of crumpled up paper. So as you can see, that really does not work well. That's also pretty dry. It's not really wet, and it's completely outside the snow. So I don't really know why that doesn't work better. All right, so lastly, we're going to try lighting up this wet fire starter. I think it's been sitting in there for, oh gosh, probably going on 10 minutes now. So let's take that out of there, kind of wring it out. We're gonna just twist it and pull it apart just like the last one here. There we go. Set that up top. Grab our ferro rod here and check that out. Third strike. It's kind of sizzling, you know, because it was in water. Now water's cooking off, but that was so quick. That's so awesome. I did not know how that was gonna go. That was my first time even just putting them in the water. Start putting some sticks over this little fire too, see if we can keep it going. So as you can probably tell, this is super handy. So I'm not using any sort of newspaper, I'm not using lighter fluid, I'm not using a lot of different things. And these are lighting up just like a charm. And one starter goes for like 5 minutes. So right now there's just that one starter in here. This one had the 2. And this one had been soaking in the water for like 5 minutes. Maybe even 10. So they work super well. As you can see, I'm making the fires on snow, so it's not like there's any sort of issue there either. And I'm just using small sticks to start the fire. I'm not even hardly using grass or leaves or anything, you know, super thin and flammable, kind of similar to newspaper. So if you had newspaper packed along, if you had lighter fluid, any of these would start much quicker. So they're super awesome, they're super cheap, and it's really handy to just keep a little pack of these in your vehicle. So my plan is to just keep a tin in the vehicle and then keep this bag in your closet at home or wherever. And they're super handy. You don't need a lighter because you can just use this ferro rod. I will say that the ferro rod just continues to work better and better over time. Once you start scratching off this black coating, everything underneath lights like a charm. So super awesome, and I think it's a super quick way to make campfires, especially if you're winter camping. Well, that's gonna wrap it up. That is how you start campfires with the Bigfoot Bushcraft fire starters. I think they're super effective and definitely economical. So check out the link below. I have them linked, and feel free to go grab yourself a fire starter kit. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope that demonstration was helpful for you, and I've kind of swayed you towards getting a little pack of these. They're a pretty inexpensive piece of gear, and I think they're going to be super nice for starting fires, especially when you're winter camping and it might be a little more challenging to start a fire. Not to mention not having to worry about matches, a lighter fluid, newspaper, stuff like that. It's super easy and convenient. They're also pretty waterproof, so if you spill something on them or you drop them in some water, no big deal. And I'm just gonna keep a tin of these in the back of my rig at all times. So thanks so much for watching. Like the video if it brought you any sort of value, and consider subscribing if you like content like this. And with that being said, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.